You guys give me if I kill that bird?
Barbara, that's a bald eagle.
Get away, Baldy! Yeah!
Oh, this is the Word of Mike, Pete, and Steve, GubsRadio.com. We are live here at the Blue Point Cask Festival 2021. We are going to be doing this stuff all day.
Yeah.
It's going to be all day. Does it feel weird without the music when we do our cold intro?
No.
No?
No.
All right.
Well,
so we'll just get right to it.
I already got a buzz. So.
Yeah.
Thanks, Larry.
How did you start drinking right away?
Well, you know, Larry.
If you ever seen Larry and Steve together, that's a whole different.
Well, we will surely bring
couple.
the portable rig around to see the hijinks that may happen. We're going to be out and about all day today. We're going to cut this all up, and it probably will be a podcast probably next week, right before our next show, which is on Monday. So we're going back to backs here, which is great. But we did take some time off. We took a few days off, and
it's good.
Yeah, it was just time to spend with the family and to get drunk on our own.
Yes.
But if you are watching right now, we are with two guys right here, Long Island's finest. We got Larry from Spiderbite. We have Paul from Ghost. We got people walking around all day. Right over there's Ryan from 27. What's up? And it's going to be like that. It's going to be like a Long Island hometown reunion.
It is beer community reunion because we haven't really all gotten together.
There hasn't been a festival.
A real long time. We, like a couple of us here, a couple of us there, but not like this. Like there's going to be it's going to get really crazy later. I know this.
My former assistant Brian from Long Island Farm Brewery just walked by. It's like, yes, like I love being able to pour beer next to him. Like that's just like, I love that dude.
The thing.
Yeah.
The man. Before we get started, though, however, I'd like to just get quickly through our sponsors because they helped us be here today, and we actually do have the brew bag set up behind us. I got to remember to write down on our things here. So let's kick it off with Rosie's Draft Solutions. Nick's not here today. This is his spot.
It is.
But we're going to do a little Rosie's. Go ahead, kick it off.
All right, we've got Rosie's Draft Solutions is a Long Island family-owned business that provides professional draft beer system services, line cleanings and maintenance, draft beer line system installs, event dispensing solutions, and more. They are passionate about craft beer and making sure it has the same quality as when it left the brewery, and that is only done by making sure those draft system lines are perfectly clean. Rosie's services bars, restaurants, halls, events, and all other beverage establishments, including home kegerator system installs. They service the likes of WA Meadworks, 1940s, Blue Point Brewing, Darling, Mauritius Bay, Hopwinds, Hop Scotch, our boys over.
Good boys.
Love those guys. You can reach them at Rosie's Draft Solutions at rosiedraftsolutions@gmail.com or call them at 631-219-2075 Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mention the Wort, get a nice little discount. And, who knows, maybe someone else on the
Little
side.
pinch and tickle.
Yeah.
Because Nick knows how to do that right. Go to rosiesdraftsolutions.com and let them know the boys from the Wort sent you. Peter, talk a little bit about Beer Maker.
Beer Maker, at-home all-grain brewing system on your countertop or man cave. Brew any beer you want. You can make your own recipe. They have over a dozen pre-made recipes right now. I just ordered the Dunkelweizen.
And the gold medal winner for the...
gold medal winner for the...
Stout?
It was a
stout. Yes.
The Chubby Stout was the Great American Beer Fest this year?
No. It was a national homebrew
That's it.
competition.
Which is what that thing is. It's basically a home brewing system that sits right on your countertop.
Sits right on your countertop. There's an app available on iTunes and Google Play. It's awesome. Tells you what temperature your beer's at, when it's ready to go, when to when to do each one of the steps. There's no cleanup. All the parts are dishwasher safe.
I see the Garvey's boys coming around.
Can you guys
Beermaker.com.
Can you guys imagine no cleanup? Like you brew and then nothing.
Nothing. You throw the parts in the fucking dishwasher.
That's not how it happens. That's not how it works.
It doesn't work like that.
No, it
Can't
does
say
not.
brew the hard way anymore then.
No.
What's up? What's going on? Boys over at Garvey's walking by. There's gonna be a lot of that today. It's gonna be a lot of
Yes,
holler.
yes.
A lot of holler.
Oh yeah.
Holla!
So
My
beer
wife
maker?
was wearing beer maker. I want to say the
Not your wife. Your
not my
beer
wife.
maker.
Beer maker.
Only if they could make it so it could be like your
Right?
wife.
Oh my god!
Man.
Imagine
That's
the
version
possibilities.
2.0.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot marshmallow.
You did
Beer
use the
maker.
promo code.
Well, the promo code doesn't work right now.
Oh well, it should.
It will.
Should.
So
It will.
it's promo
Promo
code
code
the
the
Wort,
Wort.
all one word, WORT. We're also sponsored today by Brewbag. Brewbag for your beer pong cornhole. We're gonna cornhole is right behind us. Cornholio.
Keep me from my uncle.
Yes, and we have
rules.
signs up all around here today. People can scan their QR code and get their 10% off their brew bag. Holidays are coming up, boys.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to get your brew bag. So,
You know what makes a great stocking stuffer?
yeah.
A
Brew
brew
bag.
bag.
just the entire board.
The
No,
whole-
just give
That
it
is in the
the little
stockings.
circles. Just stuff them
Just
all in there.
well, if you mill it down into sawdust and put it in there, and then you kind of glue it back together, I think that works.
We got
I
the
don't know.
lithology boys just walking by.
Yeah.
Lithology.
What's up, guys? Sorry, I didn't say hi. What's up, Manny's walking away. We'll
Manny
get him
Kev.
on later. So the brew bag is pretty cool because it goes outdoors, and right now it's a little chilly. But you know what? Nothing like a good beer in a hand and a bag in the other. And
And guess
throwing
what?
some balls.
If it's the winter,
Hey,
you put it
light
in the
a fire.
hallway. You fucking play in the hallway.
Light
It's
a
all
fire.
good.
If it's too
Play
cold,
next to the-
drink
yeah.
more.
Yeah, exactly.
Bingo.
So Brewbag, go to brewbag.com or go to our Instagram where you can get your percentage off your order. Go to brewbag.com, type in the promo code Wort, and receive your promo code and percentage off. We're also sponsored by VintageBeerShirtClub.com, VintageBeerShirtClub.com for your Vintage Beer Shirt Club T-shirts. They help us with handing stuff back to the brewers. Also, go over to Brewers Hardware. Brewers Hardware for your small capacity, large capacities. Go to brewershardware.com, type in the Wort as your promo code and get a percentage off your order. And they also help us out with gifts back to the brewers and really appreciate all of our sponsors this year. And we're going to be re-upping with a lot of these guys next year. They all reached out and everything's
Very cool.
copacetic. We're having that nice little relationship that we all intended to do. So thanks a lot for all you guys out there. I want to quickly talk to you guys. This is Cask Fest. This is a legendary event. Give us like the big once over. I'll start with you, Larry. What is it about this event that you guys love the most?
Go ahead. You can say it. Getting all fucked up, Pete. Come on.
It's Pete and Steve. That's what it is.
No, just being able to play with the different beers. You know, the casks definitely, like any cask on Long Island when there's Cask Fest, the brewers like to just screw around and experiment, and it just makes it a lot more fun than not the traditional cask.
How did you guys screw around this year? What did you guys put together?
We added fruit juice, some mango, and some pineapple to our
Mr. Wizard.
10th anniversary double IPA.
So what do we have ABV on this?
10%.
Yeah, of course it is.
15.9.
It's, no. Usually Cask Fest for Larry is nothing under 10. Otherwise, it's not considered
Not
beer.
worth it. No. And what was you have two?
No, that's
All right,
the only
but you
one.
have two
I
of
didn't read
those.
the emails correctly.
It happens. It happens.
But you have two of that.
No,
or you just have
one.
one. Just one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. If you're coming, or if you're going in any future years, go to Spider Biter right away, because that shit's gonna get kicked, and then Larry's gonna get drunk with everybody.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we're already on our way.
That's right. Paul, run us down. What do you think is the best part about this Cask Festival, this event on Long Island, that really stands out for you?
In general, the industry is always constantly shifting, and for many, many years, it was always kind of like us having to show people new things that we wanted to do and passion projects. But now the industry has very much shifted to needing to supply a specific demand, largely filled with buzzwords sometimes. But you got to do what
Maybe
you got to do.
lactose.
But we were saying, possibly this summer, I think maybe we'll have the opportunity to actually sell lagers, because I think people,
Lager!
I think
Crispy
brewers want it,
boys.
people want it, but the casks are really one of the last passion projects that the brewers have left right now. Even barrel programs across the board are really kind of shrinking. I'm still able to kind of have a little something, but as a generalized statement, like the casks are really kind of like the last passion projects for brewers left right now.
Now,
like,
what-
in a bigger scale where yeah, we get to like take a stock beer and just really play around with it. Create some like fun flavor profiles, and if something really sticks, maybe you will brew a bigger batch of it.
Yep.
Like on
Do you
a
think
bigger
it's
scale or
because
something like
most
that.
of those smaller microbreweries have gotten bigger systems and that they don't want to do a pilot batch on that?
I
People
think
walked away from those and just said, we got to, everything's about the bottom line, obviously. So you got to really think about it that way.
I think when
Exactly.
No, I'm trying to phrase this properly, but
My thoughts.
No,
don't.
I think what it just comes down to is, when there's a demand on the table, if you choose not to supply it, then you're leaving money on the table and giving it to somebody else.
Right, okay.
So like I think it's more of just an industry thing, like breweries doing what the customers want.
Okay.
So it's supply and demand. The breweries in general are giving the customers what they want. Places like the brewery or Cascade Barrel Works, those places are still open. They aren't going anywhere. But yeah, in general, I think at the very least, if breweries are having barrel programs, that's probably a real tasting room only, real local type deal.
That's pretty much
at that
where
point.
everyone's going.
Yeah. But like casks, you could still kind of get away with like popping one off on a weekend, and even if you don't kick it, whatever. As far as costs go, in the grand scheme of things,
Yeah, it's not a large amount.
Yeah. You're able to like, experiment with it, but I think it's just a market-driven thing, and as brewers, we're always making lemonade. As you can tell with COVID, we really didn't lose many people. We still lost money, but not as many as we expected. But
Thank God.
Yeah.
Because we thank
And
God
are you
most
excited
of
about the casks of hard seltzers that are coming soon?
Hey, don't
Speaking of
laugh.
what consumers are looking for.
Blue Point has the tap of lit
There you go.
that's on tap.
Yeah.
So if there's anybody that can't handle a 13 or 14%, beer that maybe was brewed several years ago and put in barrels, and was thrown upon a brewer, ex-brewer, that he wasn't sure what was going on when he was brought over by it.
I see where this is going.
Maybe that's not for them. They'll have the lit instead.
Sure.
We have
Wink, wink, wink.
we have a 10% seltzer for next week.
Of course you do.
So speaking of things over 10%, what were you just talking about, Steve?
I was saying that this Spider Bite Pills is so refreshing and delicious.
Crispy boys in the morning.
5% alcohol, and I drink this shit all fucking day long.
Hell yeah.
And then
Yeah,
we also
like-
have the IPA here, 7%, and I could drink this shit all day long because that's right up my alley. Perfect vibe.
Yeah, I'm drinking
Good
Barrage to start off, and I'm definitely planning on ending off the day with a bunch of Barrage. So
That is going to have the longest
definitely-
I don't know where you're getting that from. But
That line is going to be 100% brewers, and it's going to be a 20-minute wait for a pour.
Yep.
Larry, when you guys, kind of decide on what you want to do for here, is it something that is within the schedule, or are you really just going, way out there and just trying to specifically attend to this?
It usually is. I'm poor with planning, so it's usually within schedule.
and he's not fucking around with that. He's a
played
pretty
the
honest. When it comes to that, he's pretty honest with that.
Oh yeah.
Paul, I'm
It's
excited.
last
You
minute.
wrote a cask version of Afterlife, which is my favorite beer you make. So I'm pretty excited about that.
When I do these types of events, I like to bring one core beer and really play around with that. Really kind of give back to the people that keep us alive. And then I like to just take one of those one-offs and have some fun with it too. So I took Afterlife, which is the tasting room favorite, the chocolate cherry Kentucky Common, doubled the fuck down on the flavor profile. A bunch of Dutch cocoa powder, and then freeze-dried strawberries, raspberries, and cherries.
Uh-oh, Charlie's here.
No, you're going down. You're going down. And then
He's laying it down right now.
One of us will slam it on.
Hey, by the way,
I'm winning the I'm winning the indie and the macro. I got this. I'm telling you. And February, y'all are already going down. I already got that stuff in the tanks. I got a big one going down for February.
by the
at
way-
Brewers Collective.
I'm winning today.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
That's the truth.
You look at, he's like,
the confused look on Larry's face is,
take a look.
is everything right now.
Charlie's like, both flip.
No, I never said anything. I never said anything.
I'm not worried.
I didn't say
Oh yeah, okay.
He didn't bring his Civil War
Love you,
musket.
Charlie.
Well, yeah.
I didn't see the musket. Where the hell?
Well, he doesn't. Well, it's the cannonballs in his car.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, because he was. remember, He was
They
the-
don't let those in
he
here
was,
anymore.
he was the loader of the cannon. So he's always got cannonballs with him. They don't let him in. It's,
Bring it around. Hey.
And then I brought my the Seance, which is a cucumber honeydew saison, and hit that
that's
up with some
right,
local
yeah.
honey and some fancy Japanese senchei green tea.
so you really didn't put any thought into this one.
No.
did
No,
you?
just like my cast that I won at the Brewers
Oh,
Collective,
there you
I definitely didn't put any thought into that
on.
either. You know,
Yeah.
definitely not.
Completely winged it.
Definitely
Which-
didn't already
which-
think about what I'm putting into the next Brewers Collective
Which,
Cask Fest.
by
either.
the way,
Definitely not.
congratulations on
Yes.
that.
Thank you.
As
Thank
being,
you.
there's two winners of that at this table.
Bro. and we're the two out of the we're the
Three.
we're the only beer brewers that have won that.
Yeah, this is true.
Oh, right.
That's right.
Oh.
WA won the other one.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's right.
Actually,
they went down.
I totally thought. Actually, I thought the second year Larry
Love
was
you
going to
guys.
win. I really had my hopes that Larry was winning. He was close.
Close.
It was very close.
Get him next year.
I'm just glad I decided not to bring a stout to that one. That was
Ah.
my best move.
Larry, what's going on with the brewery? How are things progressing? Are you looking for extra equipment? Where are we at right now?
Everything's going good. We actually next weekend we celebrate our 10th anniversary.
10
Oh,
years.
congratulations.
Yeah.
That's great.
10 years is crazy.
Yeah. So
Do you look back and go, holy shit?
yeah, I don't know how it's 10 years.
No, his wife goes, holy
Can't believe this worked. This
shit.
son
Yeah,
of a
how did
bitch.
he fucking pull this one off? You back-cracking son of a bitch.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, so
10 years,
We're
holy
actually
fuck.
we're doing a little party Friday and Saturday. Some special beers each day.
What's the date on it?
12th and 13th.
Okay.
So the 13th we're doing 10 different Boruses.
Wow. 10 different Boruses.
Yeah.
That's a lot of spiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, who's it? Just hecklers all day.
What's up, Larry?
Oh. They'll let anybody here.
Yeah.
So I guess they never finished their bar crawl from last night.
Yeah.
The 10 years just seems it to me is mind-boggling because people, anyone that's getting into craft beer right now is going, this has been around for that long. Yeah, it has. And even longer than that. If you look at Blue Point and where they started, you guys have completely, along with all the other guys in your let's say class,
Right.
have changed, the impression of beer on Long Island. Who else and what else is it about it over these 10 years that you've noticed that's really kind of helped change the atmosphere? It's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Right? A little bit.
Yeah. He put that on
I
you.
think just
Early in the morning.
having enough breweries now, and I'm not saying it's enough like we're done, but enough that in the early days there were 4 or 5 and it wasn't enough, and now that each town's getting them, more and more people that really didn't drink beer until a month ago are finding it, and it's really helping.
It's
And there's more
get
opening
into
all
it,
the time.
though.
There's,
Yeah.
another brewery opened up. We just saw in Lindenhurst.
Yeah, third brewery.
I
in
don't even
Lindenhurst.
know.
Right.
It's funny. Everybody asks about it. Nobody's really sure.
I asked Ryan.
And-
We'll talk to him later.
Yeah.
But I talked to Ryan about it. and it's-
Breslau.
Breslau.
Breslau. It's
Breslau
actually
Breslau's the original name of Lindenhurst.
yes, exactly.
Oh.
Polish name.
No,
German.
German.
Is it?
And they renamed Lindenhurst because of World
Because
War II.
not for nothing.
It's
because,
named after the linden trees, Mike.
because
It has nothing to do with the Germans
It was
and World War II.
It's probably
okay?
smart they didn't keep it
Kopek
as.
used to be called Marconiville.
Yes, yeah. And
I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
sure
right.
when
There's
the
that
name
sign.
switched, so I wonder if it was around the same time,
Yeah,
too.
it might have been.
So.
Oh,
Uh-oh, who's he at?
shit.
snuck up on me. Yeah, creepy motherfucker. Hey, crispy boys.
There you go. Well, that's what
Yeah, because you go.
I'm gonna
Once
say.
you go dark, you never go. I don't know. I don't know.
you never can park.
By the way, he approved the concepts, FYI.
Ah.
So,
all right, all right.
I got
There's a
permission.
little input on all sides.
Yeah, he's wearing his fucking sweatshirt too. That bastard. Fuckers, all you fuckers,
Yeah, take it deep, bro. Love you.
fuckers.
Now, Paul, you've been brewing on Long Island for quite a while.
Yes.
What
yeah,
have you
it's,
noticed to that conversation about how things have changed?
Yeah, just to piggyback off of what Larry was saying, I think just the more hyper local activity going on, where people don't have to travel so far to go to a brewery, just creates that many more regulars that are spending more money in breweries in general.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that many more regulars, just maybe spending money at craft places a little bit more consistently, At a certain point, there's only so much pie. The pie isn't really growing. At best, you could hope to maintain it between people.
There is a
no
point where
longer
it's
in the pie
saturated
and
and
people are getting into it.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't see that pie growing at all. And I think just that, and more so too. I think just education. Even when we first started out, Girls Pine Out and Pink Boots were really, really big on the island. And I don't want this to come across the wrong way or anything, but those groups really did their job, really hardcore, all that all those years ago, where it doesn't necessarily need to be a female only group now. Now there's a lot of the homebrew groups and all that other stuff that are a little bit more co-ed.
Well, the ferry's coming in, so that's it for us guys.
But yeah, and I think that's just a testament to the job that they did all those years ago, and not just education of women in the craft industry and the craft drinkers, but just education of the general consumer, where they learn the stories, they know what hops are, they see hops growing out east when they're going out to the vineyards or the orchards or whatever it is. I think the education really sells that story of well, I want to shop local, I want to give back to my community. These guys love their job, and I want to spend money at places where people love their job, and it's that feedback loop where people just they want to be a part of the story, and they are part of the story. It's because of them that we're all around.
And it's almost like every angle and every sort of sector of society has geared itself towards the industry. In every way, shape, or form, which is awesome. Everyone's being promoted. Everyone's being thrown out there, and it's kind of made it breweries in Long Island, at least, a place to come hang, even if it's not about the beer. If it's just about the socializing.
I've always
and
said
coming across
for years and years, I always anybody that opened up a brewery and they'd come for me for advice, I'd go, just fucking brew good beer,
right?
Yeah. Because the people will come. If you brew good beer, this becomes a destination, as it should. Long Island should be a destination, as people going to California, or they're going down to Florida, going up to Boston, they're going wherever the fuck there's these supposedly beer havens. Long Island should be that.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Well, I think
those
people
places where they buy fruit puree that's blended with beer.
But does it explode or not explode?
Only the ride home will tell.
But they're going in the back of your car, sir. Not mine. I don't need a fruit. I don't have raspberry all over my back.
Driving with 6 casks in my Toyota Yaris yesterday to drop them off was pretty fucking fun, I'll tell you that.
The Yaris.
Yeah.
Yaris. And wait, 6 casks. Whose casks did you bring besides Ghost?
I had my casks.
Yeah.
I had Great South Bay's cask.
Oh, that's
Larry's cask, and 2 other casks.
Yeah. Some rando casks.
Some rando casks.
Yeah. That happens.
They might have been from a barrel. Well, they might have actually. One was from a rum barrel. I think one was from a whiskey barrel. If the information on the tag was correct, I believe.
Well, we'll just run with it and see what happens, right?
Yeah,
we have to try it.
Pour some shit out and figure it all out. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're excited to have
boys.
a lot of fun. We'll swing back around to you when we do our portable rig and see how things are going.
Sample the wares.
Of course. And you guys, again, keep doing what you're doing, because what you guys are putting out is supporting everything we just talked about.
Thank you very much.
What's happening here on Long Island is amazing, and like you guys said, it is a destination. It should be a place where people come and from town to town. Take the LIRR and get 15 different breweries. It's just crazy what we can do here.
Exactly.
So check them out. We got Larry from Spider Bite out in Holbrook, and of course Ghost over in Bayshore. Go on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff, and look them up and see what they're doing.
Holy shit, that's Nick. Isn't that Chris Jericho from fucking... Oh, no, never mind.
Chris Jericho. All right. Here's the word with Mike Pete and Steve. GovsRadio.com. We're live here at the Blue Point Cask Festival 2021. We'll be here all day. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back after this.
Govs Radio. This is the Wort on Govs Radio.
We're live here at the Blue Point Cask Festival. We're here with Chris and Hammer.
Oh, yes. Most important question I ask is, how are your fooders? How are they doing? This is exciting. I just want to know. I'm curious.
We just delivered. So one of them is at 2 turns, one's a square system kind of thing.
so pretty.
When we were there and we saw they just got brought up the day before we got there. Unbelievable.
I can only imagine. By the way, I wanted to mention the juxtaposition.
Yeah.
So we were at this brewery, and it was like the hottest fucking day of the year, and we were going into like the cold storage and eating candy because it was the hottest day of the goddamn year. And now I'm freezing my balls off at so I just want to point out, it's the hottest and coldest. That's it.
They need some sleeves, 13% or whatever. He doesn't even know what it is.
What am I drinking, Chris? And why is it so delicious?
Right now, you're drinking one of my favorite beers that we've made in a very long time. Just before we were getting ready to start a cask program. We did start a cask program. And we did a cask program called Fugget Nugget. Then,
I'm sorry?
Fugget Nugget. So we use a nugget and anyway, we got a head up. Everybody's kicking.
There we go, Garvin's picks.
So we recently reignited the Cask program, and the first beer we're going to get was a new prize with Fugget Nugget, and then the second one we're going to get a collaboration with other house, and that is Sam Richardson, Anthony Finley, me and Jerez, and Mary and the team with Hammer have been for casking and we can just walk right around. And also has a collaboration over here. That's range from deliciousness.
It smells amazing.
I know.
Did you say 4%?
Yeah. So this is that session thing.
This is the thing you're going to be drinking lots of.
Yes.
How would you go to the brewery?
That's obviously like an outlier for Cask.
That's true.
Like we decided, part of me wanted to do like one and one, like one beer.
And then like a 15%.
But we just did, for me, technically, another second running beer. So the other beer that we have, there's another beer playing beers.
Yes.
But we did like a Dark Mile on the second running beer. And we used some new techniques for us. Like I boiled this in our mash tun while we were
And those are like traditionally lower ABV beers, right?
Yeah, so this is 4%, that one's 4.2, just over.
This was the second one beer as well?
This was not, this was deliberately exactly this. The other one is deliberately exactly that, however, as a pre-planned little sister to the big beer that we have.
I've heard that before. Jack's Abbey has like their 2% project, which are like intentionally low ABV beers from 7 malts.
And so I think you'll see a lot more of that coming up as far as like the turn step there with the brewery and the sour beer. You see a lot of that on the cask. I can decide all of our beers high gravity brewing a little bit, making sure that we have a second credit to now the world's up to the they have so with the advantage of having you don't have to make the two barrels this every time. The problem with like low beers, they don't move as fast as they do. So you don't want as much.
That's the industry at this point, right? People want exceptional beer, but they also want 8% of that.
But in the end, still, the higher ABV. So Yes. So that way we don't have to I like to sit down and have a proper Chris, really appreciate you spending time with us today. Check out Fifth Hammer.
Our hottest and coldest shows.
Cheers.
This is Ghost Radio, and you're getting drunk with Mike and Pete on the Wort.
This is The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com, live here at Cask Fest 2021.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, it depends on what glass you have.
How'd that happen?
We found that out. We are here at the VIP opening. As you can see, people are starting to filter in, passing by the tent.
People
hanging
and
out.
pirates.
Because this is how we do it.
Steven is already having a lot
I'm down.
of drinks.
Oh, no, we
He's
already
good to
need
go.
to hit up food after this, I think.
Yeah, I agree with
Oh,
that.
I was going to actually get a pretzel on my way here.
Local
No.
realty. I don't know.
No.
No, we're gonna have to get something for
Yeah.
sure. A lot of stuff going. A lot of action. Happening here at Cask Fest 2021. It's just the three of us right now. So let's talk about what really matters.
It's 1:40 right now,
Yeah.
so VIPs are just pouring in.
Yep.
And you know what? People spent money. Oh, and there's Mark Burford over there right now.
There he is.
With the pipes, the pipers.
The pipe.
Hey, we got the piper down.
He's got the hair and the glasses and
Oh,
piping.
Ah, you fucking bastard, you.
It's like an orange on a toothpick.
Look, it's like Sputnik.
So we're
at that
starting to
giant
kick it
head.
off. We got a long way to go, and we've
Oh,
already
yeah.
been drinking pretty heavily. So this podcast should go pretty
Down the
downhill
tubes real quick.
very quick.
No, Mike.
Steve,
yeah.
I want to talk to you because
Hi, Pete.
Oh.
Hi, Mike.
despite
Hey.
your chagrin, you had no idea, but there's a couple of people in the background that arranged.
There's this new in the town brewery over there called Barrage.
Yeah,
I'm very curious.
You
What
might
do
be
you know
familiar
about
with it.
that?
Are you
heard
familiar
about
with
it.
that brewery?
I heard about it. It's
I see
Barrage. By the way, it's Barrage.
I see
heard it's
rocking
called
their
Barrage.
merch already.
Yeah, it's Barrage. Yeah, that's all they have is merch.
That's it.
I've heard of places like that do that, but
That's it.
they have merch.
It's a merch.
Merch.
plus a brewery.
Yes, it's a merch. Basically,
What is,
driven.
What is Jones Beach pouring today?
Oh, come on, bro.
Just
Hopefully
kidding,
one day
guys.
those guys, yes. Hopefully they
one
get
day.
It would be good.
they get the.
I really like their IPA.
Hi, Jed.
Yep. It was fantastic. It was one of those things like where is this beer? And it's been a while, but we don't have to wait for your beer, Peter, Stephen.
Peter.
I don't know.
Or
what's
mine.
Or yours either.
Or
Which
you-
will
because
be in
it's
the
not a
brew
beer,
maker.
because
It'll be
it
in the beer
doesn't
maker.
exist.
Yeah,
It'll be in
Well,
the beer
when
maker.
they fucking ship it.
Well, yeah.
Can you do a firkin of beer maker?
I mean,
Yeah, you
can
got to
find
brew
out.
like fucking 10 batches.
No shit.
But
Hey, Mike!
Let's double batch it.
So let's talk about your beer. You figured out now finally what they're actually pouring for you today. What's going on?
well, so my offspring. That's what we're gonna do.
Spawn.
We're just gonna
My hell spawn.
the spawn of my loins, Mr. Adam Pominski there. He's devious. He's a devious little motherfucker.
Devious.
But of course, I love that boy. He very shifty and behind the scenes. He tried to get me to do something, to brew something for the Cask Fest, and I adamantly refused because we're not a brewery anymore.
Yeah.
Those
tough-
are great. Those are great times.
The
A lot
answer
of people.
was tough shit. We're
Yeah.
doing it anyway.
And yeah, basically he did that behind my back, and he's lucky that there was actually beer that we actually still had somewhere in Ghost Brewing. Paul Komsick,
Hidden away in a little
That-
corner in Bayshore.
that little savage that he is a devious little conniving fuck also. That I love him just as much. Had barrels that we had sold to them when we closed. And some were whiskey barrels, some were rum
with
barrels.
beer in it.
With
Yeah.
beer, yes, they were filled with a beer called Tear the Flesh from My Bones.
Oh shit!
Which, as we put it into the barrels, it was 13% alcohol.
2 years later.
2 years later, after sitting in the barrels, and also the barrels were doused.
Dog. There's a dog.
Oh, I love dogs.
Dog.
Hey,
Hey,
doggy.
Distracted by a dog.
Come here, boy.
Squirrel.
Come here,
Squirrel.
boy. Come here, boy.
So before we actually closed, we doused them with each barrel got 3 pounds of cocoa nibs, Madagascar cocoa nibs, and Madagascar, a pound of Madagascar vanilla. And that was it. We were done. So Paul was like, "This can't go to waste. Don't dump these. I will buy them from you. I will take them. Please don't do that." So I want to say he's got about 8 barrels from us.
So
Fuck.
they didn't bring all 8 barrels here today. So what happened to the other
Dude,
7
there's-
Oh
barrels?
yeah. So
There's Cask Fest after Cask Fest.
well,
Wow.
his plan was once Ghost got situated and they were all set up, he was going to take those. He was going to do a blend. He was going to brew his own beer, and blend those barrels with his beer,
Interesting.
and make a a tribute to Barrage,
A real hybrid
Yes,
collaboration kind of thing.
and so I.
Oh, by the way, I can't really survive without sunglasses. I'm looking out there and my eyes are just like, ow.
Go get
Adam,
yourself some cheap sunglasses.
Yeah.
some cheap sunglasses. So anyway, Adam tried. Adam knew we brewed at Dubco. We did Tribal Cow, and he reached out to them and said, "Hey, can I get some of that Tribal Cow? Can you put it in a cask? Can you do something?" They were like, "Nah." I mean,
Fuck
because no.
Fuck you and the host.
No, the key behind it was, by the time we got in touch with them, it was all gone. They pretty much had such advanced sales on that beer.
Yeah.
They had really
What
nothing.
a surprise.
Yeah, it was.
It's
Actually.
crazy.
They had such an advanced sale that they really couldn't do anything.
Right.
They barely even had to promote that though.
Oh,
For it to be gone.
you know what? It wasn't a tremendous batch because they weren't sure.
I think it'll be a bigger batch next fall.
But yeah, it went. So I did a beer this past week with Sand City, which was actually supposed to be a week before that. And after I actually, here's the thing, this would have really blown people's minds. Paul, when Adam approached him, because he knew, Adam knew that Paul still had these barrels with this beer in it, and Paul immediately in his head, because he's a savage.
Mad scientist.
Yes. He comes up
What
with,
can I do?
he's like,
Smithers.
we could do 3 casks from 3 different breweries. And his idea was to get a cask of Tribal from Dubco.
Interesting.
What he had of Tear to Flesh, and then a cask
Salt and
of Assault and
Fudgery.
Fudgery that we did with Sand City this past week. Because the beer was actually supposed to be brewed a week before.
Right.
Schedules didn't work, and so we had to delay it. Otherwise, there probably at least would have been 2 different casks. But anyway, so yeah, Paul was like, you know what, we're going to do 2 casks of this. Going to be 2 different iterations. One was the whiskey barrel, one was the rum barrel. He added coconut and chocolate to the rum, and then he added. He added coconut.
Yeah, they're right.
To the rum, and then he added coffee.
Yep.
And
Oh,
something
they're going to
else.
start up.
Yep.
Here we go.
I think also chocolate.
I'll get some live
chocolate
audio
and
on
coconut. Chocolate and coffee.
Yes.
Chocolate and coconut.
Yes. And so yeah, those 2 different beers are now.
this. Now overtaken by bagpipes. And
Yeah. Well, you know what?
pipe
That's an
drummers.
impressive beard that guy is rocking right there, I must say.
Yeah.
But you know what though? Listening to these guys, listening to these bagpipers and all that, I still don't know how these became instruments. How?
A bag of wind.
How
Sheep's
the?
bladder.
How the fuck? What? I mean, the Irish, they drink. So
Yeah.
now I can figure out they stuck a couple of
No,
fucking
Scots.
flutes.
Isn't
Oh,
it
that's
Scottish.
right.
Who also drink.
Yes, very heavily. They stuck a bunch of flutes or fifes into a calf's bladder.
Yeah, no, that
Were
all makes
hammering
sense.
in, said, let's fucking do this. And there you go.
They had the fife.
They had the fifes.
Have you ever been to Scotland, by the way?
No.
It's like Lord of the Rings, but with whiskey. Like it's
So
magical.
wait, so people, there are elves and fucking hobbits and
It's a lot of little people.
and one guy with a real
giant
big
people.
red eye. And that's the guy that's really drunk.
So you got Steve. You have the two casks here, both of which are. Do we know an ABV on these?
Again,
High.
what was
Very
that?
high.
Very,
Well,
very low.
yes.
Very high.
So Paul was like, I'm actually they actually purchased a instrument called the Anton Par, which will give them.
Whoa! No cursing on the show.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So,
We'll give them what exactly those barrels are
I'm
all
curious.
about.
They are both of those iterations
it.
are pretty fucking boozy.
oh, for sure.
When we took a sample before we gave them to Paul, actually, I had the staff drink, and we all said, "Oh Jesus Christ, this is just rum with some beer." Holy Jesus!
What did we do?
Yeah, and originally, I mean, we took samples right after we brewed it, and we kind of knew that we were going to blend it. So we immediately told Paul, "You got to blend this shit." And then he tasted it and
water.
said, "This needs to be blended."
Please blend with water.
No,
Water this down.
he will be blending it with some other, beer that he's going to make, which I can't wait to find. But yeah, it very, very big surprise for me. Very overwhelming. I don't.
Everyone's happy to see the beer here, Steve.
I mean-
there are, and what's interesting too, because if you look at the website and you see the breweries that are involved,
You're not on that
the
list.
barrage is not on there,
No.
which is
Purposely kept off.
yeah
To make it a surprise for you.
sneaky motherfuckers.
You
I
surprisingly
think
son of a bitch.
the not impossible outcome is that Barrage Brewing kicks first and wins the medal.
It's not far off because a lot of people that love the brewery.
It's not the most outlandish thing that could happen today.
No, but a lot of people that love the brewery
Absolutely.
are going to see it and go, "Holy shit!" And everyone that even doesn't know the plight of what you went through will taste what we just tasted and go, "Holy fuck! Where did this brewery go? Why can't I find this?"
What's interesting too is, like Adam came over. He's like, "You better go over there because everybody's drinking it." Like all the brewers
are
were
lining
like
up.
down on it, like just like getting like all over it. And I'm like, all right, we'll get there. It is obviously 10 gallons of each, but and
But still,
it's,
That sounds like a lot, but
it really isn't for this. And there's a lot of beer here to drink. We walked around, and
Yeah.
you look around, and there's a lot of casks. But at the same time, if you are looking to, center your focuses and target,
and
it's going to go quick.
and let me tell
Yeah.
you, I've only had 3 beers from the fest so far.
Okay.
The 2 that were Barrage,
Yep.
Ghost Barrage, and then I had 27 A's.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ, that beer is so fucking good.
It's
Which
candy.
one? I didn't have it yet.
Oh, it's the gummy bear one.
It's
gummy
the
bear?
gummy bear.
Oh, it's-
and,
Oh, yes, a gummy man.
And what I had
gummy
to.
beer.
I love new brewers. I love guys that are young and fucking still have life in their body.
Yes.
Because Ryan was just like, I'm like, hey, bro, what's in this? And when I said what is in this,
Yeah.
I meant, what were the adjuncts?
Yeah.
The motherfucker ran down the whole,
The fucking
like,
malt bill.
the whole recipe. Well, there's 50 pounds of Pilsner malt, and there's 13 pounds of... And I was like, all right, just go. Because I didn't want to stop because he was so into it.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know what? While I was brewing, if somebody came up and said, what was in this? I'm like, a whole bunch of
just-
shit,
it's
man.
Chocolate and coconut.
There's
Drink
just
it.
shit in this thing. I could never remember from day to day when people would be like, oh, what's the hop profile?
Chocolate and coconut all day long.
We would have to actually, when we would do an event,
Yeah.
we would have to write little crib notes of
Nice.
like, what the fuck is in this thing? Because when you just keep doing beer after beer after beer, they all just kind of blend in. But since
Nice.
he's a new dude,
Yeah.
and he's very
He's-
still
like
has
you
the
said, he's got
passion,
energy in the bones.
yeah, he was
Ready
all
to
about
go.
it, and I was happy to hear it because, again, he was very forthcoming and happy.
Yeah.
and that I asked that, which was
I think this
very
is
cool.
his first Cask Out Festival, too.
You know what he
Yeah,
did?
I would imagine, right?
He did one.
the Brewers Collective. He
No.
wasn't in the group, though?
He did one out east. It was a fundraiser for children's cancer or children's leukemia out in.
Wait, is it the Fire Island one?
No,
They
it
didn't
was
do that
all
one?
the way out east at the Mill Road House.
Really?
Which is now closed.
Okay.
And it was 2 years in a row, and it was a great festival. And he actually was right next to me, and I remember tapping the cask for him because he never did this before. And I was like, "Yeah, bro, you good? I got you. You know, here it is. You need
You just
anything?"
got to go all in.
Yeah,
You gotta go all in.
And actually, it was very cool. I don't know if you saw Jim Richards from Blue Point went to tap one of the casks, and the head from the tap flew off, and all it was the tube.
Oh.
So he shoved his thumb in it from it, and this cask was pressurized like nobody's business. So he actually had to turn it on its side, pull the spline out of the top, and it showered people for like a good 30 seconds, and then he was able to get the thing back on. But
yeah, for sure.
I was like, that's fucking. There's always one of those at these festivals. There's
Well, when you
always
put a bunch of fruit and adjuncts in
yes.
forget it.
There's always one geyser. Always.
And that's what it was. If you look out front of the table that they have set up, it's just a huge spew.
Oh
of
yes,
liquid
it's wonderful.
everywhere.
It's awesome.
Everyone's sneakers are gonna go.
I love shit like that. We were at a festival a few years ago. Rocky Point used to.
Oh yeah, Rocky Point one. Yeah,
They didn't do it last year, obviously, because COVID. But before that, they did the Rocky Point Artisan Cask Festival. Nano, and you had to be Nano. You had to be 5 barrels or less.
Okay.
So it was all small breweries, and I would never, ever, ever forget. Right next to us was Big Alice. And they just opened, and so they send a rep and this other person with them, and he's never done it before. This thing is a fucking literal bomb in a cask. He's wearing these
pressure cooker.
He's
bomb.
wearing these light khaki pants. And yes,
It's a dark beer.
and it is fucking a dark beer, and he hams this thing in, and it lets go, and just covers him from his belly button down to his kneecaps.
That's unfortunate.
Saturated.
That's fantastic.
It goes all over the wall. That his helper is got like paper towels trying to wipe down the wall.
Was it like the scene out of the first Scary Movie?
Yes.
yes. And
Great reference. That's perfect.
we were just there goes Mark Burford over there.
Hey, Marky.
Trying to get in. He's using his phone to get in.
How fucking funny is it?
Hey, wait.
Sorry, sir.
Is
You
it-
need a
there-
pass to
He
get in.
can't
By the
get
way,
into his
Steve-
own brewery.
Steve, there's a guy with a barrage shirt on.
Hey, take that barrage shirt off, you piece of shit!
You know this gentleman?
I know this gentleman
Yeah.
well.
Well, he's off the air for a moment, so we could talk shit for about him. So Steve sucks balls.
That beer was so goddamn boozy.
That boozy motherfucker.
Pure heat.
But seriously, did you have the whiskey or the rum or both?
Yes.
Okay, so whiskey was fucking hot.
They
But it
were
was
both hot.
good.
I preferred the rum.
Thin, like
They were
not
both pretty
thick.
thin. Yes.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I would agree.
perfect. It was
I would
just the
agree.
essence of what Barrage does, and then with just the right amount of whatever they. Oh my God, I
prefer
wish
the
I
rum.
took time to talk to Paul on the previous
Well,
segment.
I'm sure we can
Yeah, we'll put him back on.
wrangle
later.
him again.
And find out exactly what he did to make that magic happen, because that's magic, and it's boozy.
Paul is a
as
crafty motherfucker.
Oh my God! It made my jaw feel loose. That one drink, that one like 5-ounce pour
On a
4
first
ounce-
date?
On a yeah, I was like a drunk prom date. It was awesome, fantastic.
By the way, how funny it is that Mark Burford, co-founder of Blue Point Brewing, not being able to get in his own fucking brewery.
I know. We were going through that, going, he's just trying to get into this. What's the password again? I don't even remember. Fucking Anheuser-Busch changed it on us. Yeah. Let's take a break. You want to take a break?
It's time for food.
I need to pee and food and all that other good stuff.
Yes.
So let's do that. Now we got the lowdown on the showdown of Barrage. We're going to get a bunch of people on the show, local guys. Of course, this is a local show. We're out here in Blue Point, Long Island at Blue Point Brewing Company.
Cask Fest 2020,
Cask
2021.
Fest 2021. That's the way to do it. This is the
both.
Word with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com. And we'll be right back after this.
Govs Radio. This is the Wort on Govs Radio.
This is the Word with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com, live here at Blue Point Cask Fest 2021. We are here with co-founder Mark. Mark's here. Do you guys know Mark?
Mark.
You should know Mark.
Mark Burford, one of the co-founders of Blue Point back in the day. We were actually just talking about this. So I remember, it's more than 10. It's probably about 12 years ago. We were talking about,
Are you that old?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fucking old.
I'm talking about Mark.
I'm old as they fucking come.
I'm talking about you.
I remember back in the day when you guys first opened up, coming here. Well, not here, back over on River, and Toasted Lager. That
Yes, please.
when that first came out, that was my go-to. If I went anywhere and it was on tap or it was in bottle, that was the beer I was going to, because it was it was such a wonderful, crisp, different beer. Because at the time, as we all know, there was still Bud, it was Miller, there was all these beers. But then this came out and it was a light bodied, beautiful looking and just easy drinking beer, but it had flavor behind it, and that was the key for me. And then coming to the brew pub and getting tastings and tasting the other things that you guys were doing, I immediately became a fan of Blue Point, and being on I remember this like it was yesterday, on the first bus ride we took into Manhattan. When you guys just you had like 3 or 4 accounts in Manhattan. We went to like the Ginger Man and
Ginger Man.
And I remember
R.I.P.
DBA.
Yeah, I know. I remember like coming to the brewery like a week later, and like, we're not allowed to ever do that again. The bus company was like, you fucking animals. The bars were like, we don't want your beer anymore if you ever do that again, because we were just savages. I remember walking. I had like glassware with me. Like, why do I have pint glasses for? They were just playing. But it was a great time. We all had like an unbelievable time, but it was great just being able to do something with the brewery that, again, you guys are like, the legendary,
OGs,
the OG grandfathers of craft beer on Long Island, and thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Really, thank you, because without that, we are, not where we are today, for
Right,
sure.
Rich is in the parking lot talking to one of the co-founders.
By the way, at your beautiful facility. Let's go back a little bit. Mark, tell us a little bit about how all this started. I want to leave a little bit for a private interview that we do with a show only dedicated to Blue Point.
Yes.
At one point in the near future. Give us a little background quickly about, kind of how this all got to this point.
Yeah, I think that it's funny where you think about where your influences were and how stuff happened. I tell this one story because people ask me when we started brewing, right? On the brewing side. And so I started before it was legal, right? And so it became home brewing became legal in 1978, right? And so I'm not old, by the way, and I had an older brother.
I am.
I was young, but I had an older brother, and we used to go into Queens, and there was a guy, and we had a secret knock, and we would buy hops and barley from him, and it was very illicit, right? And it was really exciting. I was 14.
Like a make-your-own speakeasy.
Exactly. I mean, because it was illegal. So, you think before the internet, there's no information. And because it was illegal, there were no books in the library, right? So there was no information. So you would try to there was an underground pamphlet we got our hands on.
There was no internet.
There was nothing. There was nothing. Jeez. And so you had to kind of figure it out. And the big breweries at the time weren't sharing any information, right?
You're kidding.
No, well, yeah. So we went to, we used to go and brew in the basement, And so we had this one time, we had brewed about 15 gallons. We had 3 carboys, it's all illegal, all having fun. And at the same time, I had a mobile DJ business. So I used to work in the bars, right? So me and my buddy are coming home one night after the bar, and it's like 5 in the morning, right? The bars are open till 4. And, we used to stay up that late.
As one does.
Right. So on the way home, my friend, sideswipes the car on the way home, whacks his head, but he's like around the corner from the house, right? We get in there. We got what had happened actually was on top of the illegal beer in there, we had been scuba diving on dive wrecks for kilos of hash, right? And so we had we had these 10 kilos of Lebanese brawn that we had to make.
This is a way more interesting story than I was expecting.
We've gotten into the real deal right off the bat.
We've got a drunk driving accident, illicit beer, and now we're in a midnight run with hash.
Yeah. So this is, being 15 on Long Island in the 70s, and
15.
Shit. Man, I grew up in the wrong decade for sure.
Oh, we were freer.
Damn.
So you got to dry it out about 100 degrees, 110, or you don't want to lose the effect. So the house smells like you can only imagine, right? So 2 minutes after we get home, my friend's bleeding from his face. A cop shows up, right? So somebody on the side swipe had seen us and followed us, or whatever happened. Police are there knocking on the door, right?
Yeah.
So now it's a tiny little rental house, right? You can imagine what it smells like. There's nothing going on. So I grab the phone and I dial 911 and I give it to my buddy who's bleeding. I say, just call it in because we're in a hit and run situation, right?
Jesus Christ.
So the cop comes in all full of bluster and flipping out. And we're like, we're calling it in. Look at his face. He grabs the phone out of my friend's hand and realized that we had dialed 911 now. So he calms down because he realized it wasn't a hit and run. But now we're all standing in the kitchen next to each other. And the oven's on and the carboys are there. And
shit in our pants.
Right, exactly. We're all just thinking about,
How many years we're spending in jail?
Everybody.
Can I make this beer in jail?
Smile and
Can I make toilet
nod.
beer?
Everybody just kind of get along. And so eventually he just said, okay, I realized it was a medical emergency and we're going to, take care of, here's the information and we'll take care of it.
What a
And
time,
he-
the 70s. Huh?
Right. So he leaves and we're okay, right? But that sort of excitement of all that was, I realized that I really liked it, right? And so I was going to go do this further in different which ways.
Drawing out hash? Running from cops? Or
Yeah, I know it sounds like a lot all at once, but
It filtered its way out, so you're able to focus your attention on the one thing that mattered at that point.
yeah. Well, it was that chance of, very shortly thereafter, the beer park got legalized. So that decision was I didn't want to end up on the south side of that question and on the other things, right? So I made that conscious decision to try to only do that when necessary. And so the beer thing just sort of became a real exciting thing for me. And then I had spent, I was in the Navy for 5 years, right? And so I was a West Coast, San Diego based and Pearl Harbor. But when I was in San Diego, it's the early 80s now. And once again, not a lot of information, but a couple of craft brewers starting on the West Coast. And so we would get out, get off of work Friday afternoon, the Dead would be playing in Frisco. We'd drive up, stop at every brewery that was open, meet the brewer, explain everything that we knew about brewing, get all the information back from them, and sleep on the couch or not, or go to the next place. And we would just do that all the way up the coast of California and all the way back down with different people.
God
and
damn
we
it.
did it over and over again.
Jesus. I really was born in the wrong decade.
Right.
It really is starting to piss me off. Keep going.
No,
I'm interested. You hooked me.
It really lends it to that line that craft brewing is the first successful open source endeavor by mankind, right? And I sort of believe that because I lived that. Before there was shared information, we had to do it word of mouth, and human to human.
Yep.
And so one of the things that I will never overlook about this industry is the people that were in it when I was doing that, right? So the people that helped me and talked to me, how interesting they were, how like-minded we all were. And so that, as much as the beer, that's the equality, was the people in the industry and what was going on. I just loved every part of it and being part of that and the excitement that all went along with it.
Well, it seems like there was no short of excitement. That's
Yeah. Jesus Christ. So you guys opened over on River.
I don't know how we follow that story.
Yeah.
And
I got a few.
I want to say, I don't want to hear them all today.
we'll be here all night.
Kevin, come back on tell part 2. Leave everyone with a little bit of tease. Listen to the 5-hour podcast we're about to put together.
Well, what I've always found, how many years is it now? It's 5 years since you guys signed with.
No, that was 2014.
Oh, oh my
Wow.
God!
We're in the 8th year now.
It's amazing how quickly that went.
Yeah.
I remember when the big news came out.
Quite the buzz.
Yeah,
that
Blue
news.
Point now is signed with AB and all this stuff, and it was funny. There was always that line is, which there always is. People have their own opinions, which is fine.
Okay.
There were those people. Oh, they sold out, and then there were the other people like, no, they fucking made good on what they did. Like that's every. I
those
don't care
stories.
who you are. That's always your goal to be like, I've made it. I've made it now. I'm now nationally. I'm a national known brand.
And
that's any
aside
brewer,
from any financial gain, like there's the recognition of what you've accomplished. I would imagine, right?
That's how I would have saw it.
Right.
Yeah. It's like finally the payoff of what I've been working towards my whole life.
I mean,
from those stories that you were just telling to the moment you're shitting your pants in the kitchen, wondering if I'm going to jail.
Anheuser-Busch thinks this is worth their investment.
Right.
And any brewer that's out there that says that's not a goal for them, like they're lying
to themselves.
Either that, or they truly are. They just want to be a guy in the end of the block that's really hyper local.
But then you should then respect the fact that there are people that will make that leap.
Yes.
That almost, because you didn't know what was going to happen at that point. You had a well-established brand. You're able to kind of put yourself out there. But what happens from there?
Well, the thing with me too was, in my head immediately was like, man, that's the smartest move, because now you have all that infrastructure that you never had before. You have things that, yes, you could have it. It's going to cost you a lot of money. And, at the end of the day, when you have a company that is already set and now they're going to help you expand what you do, for me, I would have signed that check and said, thank you very much, and let's do this.
How many toys did you guys get from that?
Well, it was interesting. I mean, obviously the building behind us is testament to the whole
toy.
thing. It really doesn't have to say much. I mean, part of the, there was so much, there's the piece of the craft brewing industry that is almost a religion, right? And there's the piece of it that's reality in business, right? And so, so that those things can, those all paths are legit, right? And so those things can coexist even though people didn't understand it. We all know nobody likes change, but people like progress, right? So that's what makes leadership difficult. So that when things happen like that, and some guy on a couch in Utah in his underwear sending me a bad message on social media, that has to understand that I'm a brewer. I got thick skin. Yeah. Not everybody liked every beer I ever made, right? And so I've seen reviews of things I've done that were a lot worse than whatever this person said.
By the way,
so.
is there a negative review?
Wait. I love Toxic Sludge.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Hey, people say it's not a great name. Love the name. Love the beer. If you haven't had Toxic Sludge, Black IPA, one of my favorite beers.
So at work, I love getting those negative feedback, because telling me how great I am at my job doesn't do anything for me to grow. So right? So is there a negative review that stuck out in your mind, like this person really didn't like what I'm doing, and that probably means I'm doing something right?
Do something right.
Yeah, it was the fact that some people were so animate about it, right? Which sort of meant that they were connected to the brand at some level, that it was connecting to them internally at some other way, and so that's humbling. I'm going to be honest, right? So when somebody gets that upset, that means that they're that ingrained in it.
It meant something. It really meant something to them.
Right, and I'm not trying to make people angry. Anybody that knows me knows. Maybe later. But
it's early.
Right. But that, once you realize that for somebody to get that angry, I mean, apart from modern politics where people get that angry over anything, back for a situation like this, it meant that somehow they were connected either to the brand, the industry, or whatever.
Sure. Right.
And it mattered at a different level to them to reach out, right?
They have to care that enough.
Yeah.
They have to care enough to be that upset about
which meant something to you, which means there's a connection there.
So I give respect for that. I'll be honest. It may sound a little odd, but there's respect that I give to folks that do that kind of thing, right?
Sure.
Being angry just to be angry, people get bored with that. But when it's authentic, there's something there, right? So
and that's as you know, as a brewer, when somebody gets angry at something, whatever it may be, you're like, wow, what really affected them that much?
Yeah.
Like, what was that? Yeah, I mean, you
have to know everything. I want to know it all.
Yeah, like, what, all right, I don't like the way this beer tastes, but what fucking pushed you over that point that you got so angry that you needed to really, really reach out and be
aggressive.
And like Mark already knows, and I already know, there are those, where people will actually try to find you, and message you like personally, like not even be on like a social meet, like Untapped or whatever it may be, Rate Beer or whatever. They like they're like, I know the brew is this guy, and I'm gonna fucking look him up, and they'll like, like wow,
Yeah.
thank you.
That
That you care that much of what we do. I know it's only beer, but that bothered you in your soul.
well, speaking of soul, there's Spider-Man. I don't think you can find any way home. I'm just thinking.
Oh shit! No.
Look at that. That's a full,
yeah.
way to go, Spidey.
Spidey.
Wow.
Make sure the sensors
I
are
like
on.
that he went full Far From Home with like the jacket.
Yeah, no, that's
Oh,
the
your
original
Homecoming.
That's Homecoming. Yeah.
Wow, that is elaborate.
I didn't realize Spider-Man was so short though.
Yeah, well, no, he actually is. If you look at,
I actually thought he was like maybe 5'10".
Andrew Garfield was the
He's-
taller Spider-Man
Yeah, but
of the
he's
three.
this dude's like 5'4".
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah, for sure.
This guy is mini. Maybe he's from the what was that multiverse?
Yeah.
Spider-Man from the multiverse,
Yes.
that cartoon little pig guy or something.
Oh,
like that.
yeah, the
John
Spider
Mulaney.
Pig.
Yeah, Spider-Pig.
Yeah. Speaking of
maybe.
far from home, Mark, you guys didn't move very far from where you were on River Road. You guys had a great establishment there. People knew where to find you. You had Cask Fest there. Let's talk about the evolution of the Cask Fest since we're here today. How did it start? Where'd you come up with the concept, and then how did it end up to be where we are today?
Well, it did start over at River Avenue, and I get a shout out to Alan Brady, who was our head brewer at the time, and still works with us. He runs our QC lab.
Nice.
And so he's total quality control for us now. But it was really his idea to sort of do it. And that first year, which is one of those legend stories, we did it, and it was indoors at River Avenue. So in the early days of the brewery,
Not a lot of room.
not a lot of room,
Yeah.
but it was before we had all the equipment in there too, right? So
Right.
there was a lot less brewing equipment. It was back, we used to have bands in there and all kinds of crazy parties, but as we filled it up with fermenters, a little less indoors and a lot more outdoor in the parking lot. But that first one that we did was in the winter, and it was a wicked snowstorm. It was January, right? And so we were like, oh, we can't do this. This is crazy. But we did it, and we did it with candles, and people came with snowshoes, and people came, SUVs piled with people in them showed up, and it became just one of those moments where it was
The
a
true
thing
party.
of legend. Yeah, right, exactly. And the people that really wanted to be there really got there, right? So it was this natural way of sort of weeding the
Posers.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Posers.
You could
The
put it
wheat
that
from the
way.
chaff.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, that
There you
was, and so from there it was, hey, we're on to something. Now we have to do it. We have to repeat it. And so we did a bunch of them in January, and then we did them outside, and there was a lot of cold people, and a lot of cold feed, and then at some point we just said, listen, we were too lucky because we did it
Let's
every
stop
year.
punishing the
Yeah.
fan base.
Yeah.
They do love the beer, but maybe we won't hurt them that much anymore.
Right, we moved it to April, and the thing just started
Yep.
to expand exponentially. But it isn't anything, and as I say from the stage every year where I start this, it's the brewers that are here, right? And one of the unique things about this is coming from this, obviously, in this business. When you go to a normal beer festival, you got to haul the jockey box and the CO2 and the fucking ice and every little part and piece, and hope you'd have every gasket and every other thing. And it's a hassle. And at the end, when you're hammered, you got to bring all that stuff home. And it really, there's a hassle factor. And so when we designed the Cask Festival, that's a lot different, right? The casks are here, they're dropped off, the brewer shows up, gets treated well, you serve it, when it's done, you walk away from it, and we deal with it.
And let me tell you something. I, to this day, will thank you for doing everything you guys do with the Cask Fest, because I was at least part of 5 Cask Fests here. And again today, so we're at number 6. Even a lot of people don't even know. Like the day before, you guys used to do, and you still do, like bar crawls and show up to this restaurant, and there's a live band playing, and it's or you can drink Blue Point beers and food, and you guys treated all the brewers like family, which I think we all kind of do. We all treat each other like, you're part of the tribe now. And I always found that to be the coolest thing. And I was glad to see that. And then, the next day everybody shows up hungover to the Cask Fest. But again, the same thing. You drop your cask off, it gets tapped, and you just pour your beer, and you get to talk to your friends and whomever showed up that wants to taste your beer. And it winds up being this iconic like great time, and for any brewer that has done it, they all feel the same way. They're like, this is one of the best things, you know. It's for Long Island. There's one other festival I like just as much, and it's a little tiny one, but this one has always been, and again, we all don't get to see each other.
Yeah, I did.
You know, we all got our own things that we really need to do, but when we get to see each other, it's like, oh my God, we can hang out, we can drink some beers, and we can talk.
What happens under that tent stays under that tent.
Oh, and
that's what I've noticed.
There's Miss Shelby Poole over there.
Hey, there
we
she
love
is.
that little shells.
Come sit for a second. Might as well be on with Mark for a moment. Yeah, hang out for a
You know
minute.
what? She actually asked. She goes, "Can I be on when Mark's on?" And I said, "Of course."
She's not shy.
No.
Oh, I've known Shelby for a while, and we know that. But you know what? Shelby always does a great job what she does, so that's what pretty much matters.
Shelby from Blue Point, she is our point person tonight. She is absolutely helping us out with everything that we've been going on. Our person of reference, so appreciate
Public
you.
relations dynamo.
Dynamo.
And on top of
you,
that,
guys.
she owns 2 wonderful restaurants called Morrison's and Jackson's. And if you haven't
Oh,
been there,
Jackson's.
you
Fun.
need to be there and eat the
place is
foods
great.
and have all the beers.
Oh, I love Jackson's. Fantastic.
Yeah, and they are fantastic. Both of those restaurants. I way back when I first met Shelby.
Yeah, this is a moment right here.
And actually, Shelby was one of the first restaurants at Morrison's to actually carry Barrage Brewing beer.
There you go.
And we did a little tap takeover, and she was and her husband Harry, which I saw earlier. They were more than willing to, take us into their little, and they were very at the time very big on doing craft beer. So,
Well, too bad you don't have a brewery anymore.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
I know. Now it turns
Too
out.
bad for all of us.
Still do,
Yeah.
Still do craft beer.
Please. And here's a little a thing I get every so often. So I wind up going to a local establishment, and I run into somebody. They know me. I don't know them, which you get all the time. Hey, how's it going? Hey, congratulations. No, I just closed my brewery.
Oh God,
Like
this is the
three-
fucking best story.
3 or 4 months earlier, I'm like, congratulations, I'm out of business, or congratulations, I have life now. They're like, oh no, you're a new gig. I'm like, oh, what's my new gig? You're the head brewer at Blue Point now, aren't you? I'm like, well, I better fucking check my bank account because I haven't gotten a single fucking payday yet. Yeah, so that rumor went around for a little while. I
Congratulations.
you know what? I fucking did a little cartwheel out of the building because I'm like, yes, I made it.
So Mark and I actually have been spending a lot of time together.
Nice.
We've been psychoanalyzing Blue Point Brewing Company from the past to the future.
Mhm.
And I think we should tell them.
Well, okay.
Oh,
But now, is this
Tell us.
Now, is this pre-edible or after post-edible?
Today?
Yeah.
I wasn't eating it. Today is clearly post-edible.
yeah, it's a totally different type of day today.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we have breaking news.
Yeah, we do.
All right, hold on.
We do.
There's the sound.
I wish
gonna
we
let
had
you
a
tell it.
soundboard. I wish we had a soundboard.
Yeah,
That would be
yeah.
so
I have
great.
my phone ready, but I don't know.
Beginning, we don't know when, because Lord knows.
Beginning
we're gonna
when
do
it
this.
happens.
At some point, Mark and I, and select other people that we don't even know,
Nice.
are making a zine.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Another Long Island publication?
No,
Oh.
No.
it's actually AB exclusive, and we
Oh.
can't
Hey now.
share it. No.
So
it's
what is
not.
that
Very
going to entail?
local.
What is it going to just be?
We're gonna
Yeah, what's it
hang
going to
out-
entail?
Ready?
Yeah, Mark. It's gonna tell.
Mark is going. You said you were going to illustrate it.
No.
And
Oh.
Wait.
No.
he's just going to
Stick
be the
figures
scene-
only.
Yeah. Oh
but
right.
charcoal.
You're the cartoonist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And we're gonna just talk about some good shit.
Good.
We have no idea what.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's going to be.
Let's talk about beer.
We just know there's a lot to talk about.
That's
Talk
that's
about
key.
beer.
Right.
Well, Mark told me the other day that the
Yeah.
most important thing about Blue Point is that it's about beer.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's not about everything else.
We're in the rocket science
You know
part
what?
of it all there now.
The other thing I forgot to mention earlier, when you guys signed with AB, not only was the beer, for me too, I had so many friends that work here,
Yeah.
like early on, and I'm just like, no, I'm sticking behind these guys because they're my friends. Like, and they're doing something that they enjoy. And I think more and more people, as time has gone on, have like, I was a little bit of a dick back then. Because at the end of the game...
Wait, you were?
Yeah, no.
No, I was never a dick. I was always all about it. I was always about coming down and drinking beers.
You're
and
the sunshine of
hanging out.
everyone's
I know.
day.
I know.
That brings up a question. Mark, how many roughly, how many people do you guys employ?
There's 150 of us.
150?
Wow.
That's a phenomenal amount.
Yeah, well, the restaurant business has a lot of people with very
Sure.
complicated lives,
Right.
and they come and go and stuff.
Yes, it does happen.
What
yes.
are you talking? I have no
Shelby,
idea what you're talking
you had that
about.
problem, Joe?
What? Get
out of here.
I don't have therapy.
I do have to say, just recently, Mike and I were here for the Zine Lamprey show.
Oh yeah,
Great.
And let me
Great
tell you,
fest. That was
the
awesome.
amount of half-liter Oktoberfest that went down our gullet that night was
So good.
extraordinary. But we had a great time. Zane, we've been fans of Zane, so once we actually had Zane on the show.
Yep.
Leading up to that, and we came out for it, and it was a fucking awesome time.
Guys got a
And I
great
got to
space for
run
it,
into
too.
so many people that I knew and were friends
Yeah.
with that I haven't seen, and it goes back to again today. I mean, Shell weeks ago was like, oh my God, my beer family's coming back together. We're gonna all hang out, and she's right. From the moment I walked from over by the cask to here, I ran into 6 or 7 people, and I had to stop, and they were like, you gonna show up for the show? I'm like, yeah, well, you gotta say hi and give love and stuff.
I think the craziest thing is that the last Cask Fest I was at, I did not work for Blue Point, and I was on the restaurant side of everything.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
my career has been about real relationships with people. Like, you guys are my homies. Like, we came up together, and it is so full circle because I feel like we did so much of the bonding at Cask Fest.
Oh my God!
And
All those group
I didn't
pictures that we had
have-
taken. Yeah.
So
and
truly
it's how many people that actually work here now. Like
That's what
beforehand, they didn't work here.
Yeah. So
but
it's
it would
this
be
weird
just that
moment.
bonding
Yeah.
picture of at Cask Fest we would always take, and then I'd say now there's at least 5 from those. I mean, you,
Yeah.
Barry, Jen. Well, before then it was Fisher when he was here. I mean, there was so many people,
Yeah, it's
and
a
then
lot of
now they're a part of the family here, and it's the coolest thing.
Yeah, it's very full circle because the brewer the founder and cask master I had no relationship with, and now we work together, and it's like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure. Love working with you.
Now, did you guys, you guys, when you moved in here, there was obviously a lot of stuff to do. And even so, almost every few months, we feel like things have changed. You added the shipping container over there for more taps, more... Dave, more stuff. I mean, it's just a constant work in progress? Is that what we're always thinking about? Like, what can we do more? What can we do better?
Yeah, I think the constant improvement is the word that I like to use, because I think that even and related to the beer first, but even brands, now that we've had brands on the market for a long time. Toasted Lager came out in 1998, right?
Wow, 98.
And so, but things change
Crazy.
over time, right?
Yeah.
So there is this romantic notion in beer on the commercial side where recipes stay the same and nothing ever changes and everything is. And that's not the reality of brewing. On the brewing side, we realize the raw materials change that we have access to. Even the same named raw materials don't always react the same way in the process. And so things change, right? Also, you want to get things better. As we get better technology here at the brewery, we're able to measure things differently, right? The lab inside is so extraordinary. We know so much about the liquid that is in our beer, that is our beer now, that we could never figure out before. And that lends you to make good decisions or try different things, right? So we just recently, a year ago, commissioned our innovation brewery in the back, right? It's a 7-barrel with some 14-barrel tanks and some wood fermenters, some fooders. And
when I saw you got that, I was like, oh, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitches. And I've actually had at least 2 beers out of those photos. And man.
Yeah, the food of hell is for me is
Yes,
that's where I want to get
yeah.
to. That is, we're going to dial that in because if you think about what's going on right now in our business, there's a lot of things that are flavored that are very popular.
Right.
The
So
flavored stuff, the pendulum has swung all the way there, and at some point the pendulum will swing back to beer.
To beer-flavored beer?
Right. And
Yeah.
so we're sort of developing these. We sell them here in the pub, so it's not like we're doing it for nothing, but we're developing these foeder fermented beers to be sort of be on that side of it when the pendulum comes back a little bit and nuance gets appreciated again, right?
And what kind of capacity do you have for the foeders? Like, how is that something you can do at scale, or is it something that you think is brewery only for the foreseeable future?
For the immediate future, it's brewery only, but the scale project is in action. So that requires not just buying more fooders, but there's a whole bunch of stuff we got to do to make sure that that's correct. And so we're working on, we're actively working on trying to do that. And so I would say it's a moving project, but a slow moving project.
And that's, again, something that after, the merger with AB, that's something that's possible now that wouldn't have been possible 8 years ago, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the access to capital to do things is different, right?
Sure.
I mean, that's not sounding too mathy, but that's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, and now you have the space, you can add things like that, so that definitely helps also.
Right. I mean, the brewery basically operates at full capacity right now.
I was going to say, how far do you have for expansion? You're pretty much done at this point, right?
Not too much, right? In this building, right? We're pretty much there. I mean, the next expansion is more equipment, right? But we're utilizing everything we have, and so and that's a good thing. Keeps everybody busy, keeps everybody employed, and so that part of it's very exciting, right? We say, okay, we got to plan the next step, and we got to get rolling, and so all those things are in action. But
and just thinking about how many spaces you have the outdoor space, you have your little terrace space up there, then you have the main room, and then you also have another small area down here for to-go and merchandise and stuff like that. It's pretty much maxed out. I mean, you got plenty of space. What's your capacity for patrons at this point?
I'm going to guess it's somewhere around 750 between inside and outside, right?
We're about at that.
And then a festival like this, thousands, right? I mean,
outdoors is different situation, right?
We have a few thousand today.
Yeah.
But imagine, someone who came to the brewery on River Avenue, 15 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And imagining, that small little space, and now you're at this, a fucking college,
right?
And you're maxed out of capacity there, like. The progression from then to now is
evolution.
When you walk around Cask Fest right now, it's the same vibe.
Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where we are.
It's that hyper local feeling. And you guys brought in a bunch. I don't know who's in charge of all of the kind of collection of the breweries, but you didn't just focus on the local guys. There's a bunch of people from Queens.
Yeah.
There's people from out of state.
Yeah, we have a long relationship with a lot of people. So
I ran into Chris Kuzmi from Fifth Hammer.
Yeah,
he was
nice.
Yeah, he was all sorts of happy as I was when I saw him.
Yeah.
So
actually, there's a brewery here today that I don't think anyone was expecting, especially one person who's actually sitting right across from me.
Oh, what brewery is that, Shelby?
Mark,
do enlighten us.
Mark, were you not expecting to have your beer here today?
Surprise!
Surprise to you! Hey, you only got 50-something iterations of beer. That's awesome.
It's Barrage Brewing.
Yeah.
Oh, shut
Adam Pominski, for a month, has been working to get casks at Cask Fest for Steve.
Feverishly.
Is he grounded, Steve?
Devilishly.
Would you say Adam is grounded?
Would you like to hear his reaction?
Grounded.
I'll give you his reaction because it was actually great. I've actually been waiting for this moment for so long. And Steve goes, "Is it even carbonated?"
Mark.
Got it.
So I don't know if you know any of the story, but the beer that's in the casks came from barrels that, as we were closing, we filled these rum barrels and these whiskey barrels with a Russian Imperial Stout we called Tear the Flesh from My Bones. It was 13%. Went in. We actually had added like 3 pounds of it was cocoa nibs, but I want to say it was either Ecuador or Madagascar or something, and then Madagascar vanilla beans, and they all went in, and we closed. Ghost Brewing took all those barrels. They purchased those barrels, they took them, and they've had them, and so they've been sealed. They've been just sitting there, and I already knew the rum barrels were hot. samples we took beforehand, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, this needs to be blended without a doubt. So, unbeknownst to me, my son like fished around and spoke with Paul over at Ghost and said, can you do some casks? Can you do something? And he's like, oh, fuck yeah. Oh,
That's exactly how he speaks.
Yeah. He's like, oh, fuck yeah, I will do that, and especially because it's your dad and it's barrage, I will do that in a heartbeat. So his ideas were, what would your dad do? So it was like coconut and chocolate, and coffee, and so two different beers, and but yeah, at the end of the day, if I'm associated with it, I want to make sure it's
right.
Yeah, so
yeah.
that's why I was like, I'm like, is this even carbonated? What did he do? Did he prime it? Did he add yeast? Because it's been there, but no, it actually beers.
I haven't actually tried
I actually
it yet,
just
and,
had some, and
I think,
it was
I think I want to. So
Yeah, the
gonna
rum
head
barrel
over.
one it's hot.
Yeah.
It's hot.
I'm gonna head over and try it.
Yeah,
Part of Cask Fest.
I
You
got it.
better get it to it early
That's
before.
it.
Yeah,
And
there's only one.
What's great
Thank
about
you.
it
There's two, but there's
well,
one.
those two beers, and then
We'll get back to you.
right
Thanks,
next
Shelby.
to it is a newer brewery, 27A, and they got this really light Pilsnerish or cream ale with cherries and strawberries, and I'm like, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
This is great. 5%, 13%, and that's the thing for me
the
with
balance
always
of Cask Fest.
always been at Cask Fest is, what is that one? There's always that one beer you're gonna be like, oh, Jesus Christ, that's so good.
Yeah.
But just to see what that brewer had in his head, what was he like thinking? And for me, I'm trying to think like, all right, what did you really want from this? You added these. Did it come out the way you wanted? Did it not? Did you want more or less? And for any brewer that comes here, they all do the same thing. It's trial and error. You don't know what you're going to get out of it.
It absolutely is. I think that's the joy of it, right? So
without a doubt.
when you tap those, and the brewers are tasting them almost like, there's this trepidation moment of,
Yes.
am I
yeah,
going to really
what?
say, am I
Yep.
going to...
Yep.
And I think that one of the things that, is almost like an internal chuckle in a way is that people come here and obviously by the thousands for this event, but probably don't drink cask beer at any other time in the rest of their lives. Right?
That is true.
But somehow, when they come to our parking lot, they can suspend their belief of what their notion of beer really is, and actually try something completely that's a different process, a different way, different from what they're used to.
And that's the great thing. I don't know about you guys, but the great thing about this festival also is it's pretty much asshole free.
Yeah.
No, because when you go to festivals where it's just, I paid $30 and I'm going to drink as much
I'm
as I
going to take
can.
this 2-ounce glass and
You know
drink
what?
every high ABV
Yes.
beer I can.
This
This is for the enthusiast.
Yes, without a doubt. They want to try, hey, what did that brewery bring? I want to see what they brought. I want to try something new. That's the great part about this festival, and it always has been, because from day one, like you said, the people that came out that very first Cask Fest, those were the ones that wanted to be there.
Oh, absolutely. And
Mark, it'd be hard to believe that anything new could come out of Blue Point, but what do you guys have planned coming up for the next few weeks, months, and next upcoming years?
Certainly new, right? So the Innovation Brewery is up and cranking, right? So
Cool.
very exciting. So there's releases almost every week out of that, and a lot of different stuff that gets sold in the pub and for different reasons. But notice we have the terpene tent that's in the Cask Fest. So we're
Yes.
doing some very cutting edge work with the abstract guys on molecular work on hops and cannabis, and bringing them together legally.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, now we're in Mike's wheelhouse.
Yeah, here we go.
Exactly.
And
Let's roll.
Hi, Mike.
Hi. Yeah, I
So
was saying, when's the point where breweries are going to start doing that, since it's legal? At this point, what's the laws that govern that, and how are they going to dictate, what ends up in the beer? I tried Hemperor from New Belgium.
Okay.
It's a little over the top. We don't need it to that level where you're going to open it, you pull the tap and the whole room smells like a bag of weed. We don't need that. But the smell and the taste can be used in, collaboration with other hops and other flavors. So what's the thought process on kind of melding those two worlds?
Well, I think it's a couple of things, right? One, just for the reality factor is alcohol and THC are not going to be allowed the same product anytime soon, irregardless of legality here in New York or not.
Right.
Those things do not connect. Even in the Western states that have been legal for years, those things are not allowed. So that's just that, right?
Yeah.
So then how do we start putting on our thinking caps and figure out how do we get the best of all of those, right? So when you look at what's in cannabis and what we understand about it and what we don't understand about it scientifically, it's all kinds of stuff. It's lots of stuff. So dealing with the abstract folks, looking at trying to take the best. I mean, just the short version of what that is they molecularly break down the different strains and then they go out to the world and find those. So if you think about it this way, if you had a peach, right, on the molecular level, there's not one molecule that tastes like peach. There's probably 20 molecules in there that are all of different levels, and then they're not unique to peach. So you might find one of those molecules in a banana, one in a violet, one somewhere else. And so that's what they do. They take these cannabis strains, like sour diesel is being poured over there, and they break that down molecularly. Then they go out to the world and find those same things and then reconnect them. So you can get those exact same medicinal properties, which is, I think, a piece that's really coming as far
like
as
CBD
this right down the line.
Kind of level,
and what there really is. So the cannabinoids and the stuff that's in hops that everybody knows that's good,
right?
Those things can be combined going forward. I think that's sort of the exciting piece of it. But right now we're working on flavor match and trying to make it useful for the brewing community and bringing something new, right? So it's an exciting thing for us to try to be on the forefront of this science as it develops.
That is... I'm blown away by that. I really am. I'm like, that's the coolest thing.
Yeah, it's a lot more science than you would think, but that makes sense because you got to stay within your legal bounds, but at the same time, make it something that would be beneficial to anyone that would want to seek that out for sure.
Yeah, exactly, and I think it's always interesting to me to have there's a lot of keep it simple stuff in the world, and we all have things in our lives that we like to do that. But when it comes to brewing, I'm not afraid to get into the complex and the really, really tough and say, hey, we can do this. I'll give you an example. We have a beer called Imperial Sunshine, right?
Yes.
And as much as
it's like a 9% golden or something?
Yeah, it's a 9.6 gold with some orange flavors and stuff in it. But it's probably one of the most complicated beers we ever tried to brew. So if you speak to our brewmaster, Rob, he'll tell you, to try to get a 9.6 ABV all malt beer at 78 RDF is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And to do it consistently, right? So that, the orange peels are added after, so it's not part of the mash process. But to get the beer to drink like a 4% but be 9.5% without any enzyme or any other kind of outside influence in the brew house, with using just regular ingredients, that's a challenge.
Sure.
And it's a real challenge. You have to really know your brew house.
And that's the thing. If you can do that and you do it well, that's a fucking great job right there.
Right.
And you hear guys all the time, man, you really hide that alcohol well. That's a good job.
Yeah.
Right.
How involved?
So that beer started as an ale, right?
This is what I want to know, Mike.
Because the ale we thought it would be an ale, and then as speaking about the idea of progressively getting better, we've switched it to be lager because now we've got the lager strain that will do that, and it's smoother and it's a better drinking beer for that. So continuous improvement going down the line.
And is this something that came out of the innovation lab, or?
It was a little bit before that. So this is something that came out of the sort of the intersection of business and need and want, right? So we sell a lot of beer in Florida. We've been selling beer in Florida for forever. A lot of New Yorkers down there, right?
Sure.
And so we were looking for something that was for the Florida market that the other brewers in the AB craft world didn't sell, right? So they have Wicked Weed and some guys that are closer to Florida that have more priority on the list than us here in New York, right?
Cigar City.
Well, that's not part of the AB group, but
all right.
Yeah, but
So I think
in our world, like if you think about the distribution world, they have X amount of brands in their portfolio, and we was saying, okay, we have to give them something that nobody else has given them.
Gotcha.
And give them a reason to sell it. It's got to be great. It's got to sell, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
But so it was the intersection. We said, okay, this is we sort of identified this white space, this high alc thing that our group is not providing. Then we developed the beer, and Florida oranges wasn't that far fetched, right? And then, so from the discussions, the brewing discussions, to actually making it, that took a bit of effort. And once we got the beer dialed in, and of course, there's the other piece of it, the commercial side, the packaging, and all the other stuff. Took a while, and then once we started going down there, the beer's taken off for us. So it's now our second largest brand. So
wow!
It is. Jesus. It has gone.
I assume behind Toasted Lager.
Yeah, behind Toasted Lager.
Toasted Lager, then that.
Right, and then change your afternoon, and and different things happen with it. Like, did you ever see that TV show Cops?
Oh, of course.
You know how they're always chasing some barefoot guy through over the fences, like in Ocala, Florida?
Yeah.
That
Florida man.
That guy needs craft beer too.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
So that's where we stepped in for that.
What I was going to say
awesome.
before is you seem on top of it. A lot of people would say a co-founder or an owner doesn't have his hands into the day-to-day workings. You sound like you're right on top of it. How far does your overseeing go, and how far involved you get with like kind of the day-to-day?
Well, one of the beauties of this situation here is we have an HR guy. So if your cat is sick, go talk to him. I don't want to hear about it. But and the bills are paid, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I mean, it's
go.
magic. But we have a GM or president, Carrie Saphir, so she runs the day-to-day. I do not run the day-to-day, to be clear. I am part of the innovation team.
But you're
and
right in.
I
you
keep
have
the culture
you have the
alive.
answers.
You get to do the fun stuff
I'm
now.
I'm here every week.
You get to do the fun stuff now, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Try to, you realize that you get to a certain age, there's some mentoring to be done with some younger folks and everything, and bring them along. This building needs a lot of professionalism, right? We're doing a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that is a great improvement for us has been our safety aspects of it, right?
Yep.
And we just never end with the safety, right? Because it's just too much heavy stuff being moved around. And so that, teaching all that and making that part of culture, right? It was not part of our culture on River Avenue Safe. We'd climb on the top of the tank to try to dry hop and do every unsafe thing you could
Hanging
imagine.
from the rafters, just trying to get to something.
And there was a certain, feeling cool about it or being a rebel about it. But ultimately, there's no long-term solution to do that.
Right.
Something bad will happen eventually.
Sure.
So as much as it doesn't seem fun to be into safety, it's totally worth it to have it all and have everybody go home at the end of the day and nobody's hurt and that. So those things change, and you have to make sure that I champion those things as well as everybody else, because I can't ask them to do it unless I do it. I put on all the safety gear when I'm walking on the brewery floor so I don't look any different than they look. And when I bring my friends or somebody on a tour, I make sure everybody does the same thing. And you just have to do that stuff, because you realize these kids haven't been in the business for 35 years. You know what I mean? They've been in the business for 18 months. And you gotta, right. You didn't.
What do you mean I can't wear flip-flops on the
right.
deck? What do you mean?
Right.
It's summer, man. I got my
Socks and Crocs.
flip-flops on.
Socks and Crocs.
Shit. Oh, Crocs, yeah. That, I have to say, Crocs are probably one of the, for me, was always like, you're fucking wearing Crocs in a brewery? What are you, fucking stupid? Because
The amount
They'll
of
melt,
stuff
right?
well, it's the amount of stuff that will get through those holes, besides really, really hot wort,
Right.
is caustics.
Yeah.
And, I mean, next thing you know, you're like, why are my feet on fire? Well, because you just poured caustic all over them, you stupid fuck you.
And now you wish you had a fungal
And then you
infection.
wish, but it's funny. I remember going to the Craft Brewers Conference, and we went to this. It was like basically an OSHA course. So we go in and we're listening, and the first thing out of the guy's mouth was, and he was so angry.
I feel like
He was so fucking angry. He was like, I know more than half of you fucking guys have shorts and fucking flip-flops on in the brewery. And we were all like,
guilty.
shit. Was he looking at our monitors? How did he know I wore shorts on the brew deck? How did he? But at the end of the day, man, it's, and I left there with a packet, a whole big thing of safety goggles. As soon as I got back home, I gave every one of my guys safety goggles. I go, these are your fucking safety goggles, and these are the extra ones, because everything they said scared the piss out of me.
As it should.
And it didn't scare me that I'd get sued. It scared me that
someone you care about will get hurt.
Yes.
At your
And
business.
I never.
And it's on you.
And it's a horrible feeling if somebody does get hurt.
I remember working for a company that used to have a board in the back that said, we've gone so many days without an incident.
And it always said 0. Right?
No. It was good. It was like 40, 50, 60. I would go there for months at a time. That's the first thing I looked at. Like, wow, we really haven't had any
until
incidents.
Brenda got the paper cut.
No. Until the lady smashed a glass at me on the bar. And I'm like, all right, well, there goes that incident.
That'll do it.
And I'll go erase it myself.
And that's 0.
I told her no. She was drunk. That was the end of that. I was trying to be good. I took my tips certification. And I did. I said, no, you're visibly drunk. Sorry, I can't do it. Smash. Okay, we're done here.
And
But that's the thing. Like, you're in charge of all that. There's so many things you're looking after. I can't imagine the responsibility and the pressure over the years, especially with the big movements. Have you kind of changed your mindset from day one, or has it pretty much stayed the same throughout?
I think the people that know me say I haven't changed much. You know what I mean? But we all grow and change. I mean, let's be honest
as we
about
should.
it. As we should, right? It is. One of the things is I'm still really into it. I mean, I think that is at the end of the day, you know.
You can tell.
Right.
You can tell by the way you speak about it.
Why am I here? I love innovation in beer. I love the business. I love the industry. I love having the people here that work for us. I appreciate it more than they'll ever know, right? And so that gets me up in the morning, gets me going.
Have you had an opportunity to walk around and taste some stuff?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
No,
but that's my next move.
Okay.
Get out of this fucking the coldest place in the damn in the parking lot.
We chose it. We literally, for a while, we were just standing over by the sun, and we're like, "Oh, this feels so good." But
we gave you Steve's nice comfy chair.
You got the comfy chairs, man.
This is good.
I want to give you an opportunity to give us the big plug for Blue Point, where people can find it, and obviously if you don't know
everywhere.
All right, so there's no big plug needed.
The Brew Pub.
Yes.
Yeah, come visit us. It's a great space. It's a multi-purpose space, right? We do venue stuff where we do live music and live entertainment of all different types, and then day by day it's the regular pub and where the innovation is. Just like every place else, you can look at the chalkboard, see what's new, chat with the crew. I mean, it's always been important for us to have a friendly crew, and Michelle, who's been with us for forever, from River Avenue to now, runs the place, and it's just that whole thing has come together, and obviously we're in outdoor weather drinking time. So we are. So the beer garden is in full swing. So looking forward to that.
And just so everybody knows, when he says pub, the food is pub plus, because the food really
full platters, full dinners.
Some of the food that's being served up there it's very high end pub food, but at a reasonable price. And that I remember when you guys first opened the pub, I was just like, what the hell? What
what have you done?
And then another day I was sitting in the pub with another friend from another brewery, and we were just posting stuff on social media, and the chef came out. He's like, "You guys are brewery guys?" We're like, "Well, yeah." And then proceeded to like, "Oh, all right, don't order. I'm going to bring you stuff," and brought us out food, and we were like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." This was and again, just really thought after a lot. I know a lot of it is locally sourced, and the food was fantastic.
Yeah,
so just don't think you're getting a burger and fries. You can get way beyond that.
Yeah, and I think that the philosophy really is the same that we use at the brewery. So as much as possible, it's a scratch kitchen, right? So if you think about the brewing side, the raw materials come in and beer goes out, hopefully, on the other side. And so if you think about it in the modern world, on the restaurant side, there's a lot of prepared stuff you can buy and use, right? And so we try at the absolute hardest and work our diligence to not do that, and have as much as we can be a scratch kitchen and bring that same philosophy that we take raw ingredients and create something as we do on the brewing side.
Listen, if anyone on Long Island or beyond hasn't been to Blue Point, make it a destination. It's a place to come. Great town inside as well.
Sure.
Go to bluepointbrewing.com for all your information about events and details and how to get here and their tap list. And of course, Mark, thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
We're going to spend some more time with you at some point in the future.
Yes, definitely.
For sure. We're just to hear all these crazy stories that you have. I'm so interested in everything that he was talking. The 70s and 80s were awesome.
How do we put that content into 2 hours?
We only did an hour, and which is just like a teaser. It's fantastic. We'll do a 4-hour show with him.
There we go.
Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for coming and getting the word out about Cask Fest and anything with Blue Point. And it's great to be back, right? I mean,
oh my God, yes.
So excited to be out again.
That's it, right?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
This is The Word with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com, and we'll be back with some more people that probably aren't Mark after this.
You're listening to Govs Radio, internet radio versus whatever that alien shit is. Whose idea was this anyway?
This is The Word with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com. We are live here at Sheila from the Long Island Brewing Company in Riverhead. You guys remember Sheila from AC Beer Fest, from Long Island, from everything else that we've done. From everything that she's been on for all around. Beer maker.
you gotta get that. It's in my trunk right now. Don't tell her that. Don't tell her any of that. Why would you say such things? Don't do that. Good. That's the truth, and you better be careful, so watch your back from now. Security! Security! Sheila. We'll edit it out. We'll edit it out. I would have taken a minute. What are we doing this? What's up, Kevin? Hang out with Mark. That's the Celtic Ale. Oh, you didn't let us know what I didn't know. I didn't hear the grandma's dirty panties. No. Yes. Yeah. No. Oh. Grandma's dirty panties. Yeah. The raw cheese. Oh, look out. Who invited this guy? We'd like to do it. Introduce this guy. Hey, I want to see some stories we can. Things to be left to be unseen. Yes. We will get to those in a future show. Apparently, you might be up in the bell tower doing it. Oh, that'd be awesome. I want to know who's bringing the rifle from the bell tower. Anybody? I've said one. I've said one. Everyone go. Help the families. I'm going to assault you with the question I asked you earlier off air. When the fuck are you making King Celtic again? Yes. And we're not... I want that on record. We're not playing around with this. No, it's King Celtic. Or nothing. Brew goddamn King Celtic again. How many times do we have to say this today? Like, what it is. King Celtic.
What I say all the time is that they let me make the most decisions around their life. But...
Now the Bruce gets
I still have to get them on.
So you need a new paddle for the battle. Like you need to get your pricing. We can get you whatever you need to get that Celtic thing. You know what? We could do like a guest hat. Oh! That was awesome. Long Island, you know what? That's a hell of a promotion. We could do this. I think we're on this one. Yeah, I think we are.
I need that baby.
Kim Celtic's recipe in the beer maker.
I feel like there's something ironic about an actual brewer using a home brewing system to make beer.
That's okay. That's okay, brother. That's okay. You've obviously never had Kim Celtic. You aren't willing to do anything to get more. Especially if she had to get a free beer maker. She's making all the decisions. Because Greg is high on mushrooms. And that's right. She needs to make the decision. We need a sober person to make the decision.
I will steal the recipe book and I will do it myself.
No! I will steal the recipe. Well, you could have just said I'll borrow it, but you can't steal it. I know. You can borrow it. We'll do King Celtic in the beer maker. We'll release a 1-gallon bag. 1-gallon bag. One bag. I did what I did. I'll have Long Island on. I go, what do you think of this beer? An hour later, we'll be done with it. An hour? 20 minutes? 5 pours later, we'll be done with the beer. We do double backs. We double it up. We do all 2 gallons. And, Sheila, what cask company, what is this beer for? I think you're about to check. No, he's not. Oh! Who's lifting that over the heads? I'm here. I'm like, we got it. I was basically saying, Steve adding some technical assistance.
This guy's brewed before.
Go forward. I haven't had this yet. It's going. It's going. All right, go, Steve. He's got it. Oh, Tom lost his phone in the... No.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah.
By the way, anybody who actually listens to craziness, this is actually really cool.
Hold on.
I love that spicy.
That is fucking
hot,
spicy.
hot mocha.
It's like that. You can see it. You can see right here. I really like the angle of the audience. That's the worst thing I've ever done in
It gets you right there. It gets you there. It gets you there.
That's fantastic. It does. It gets a little bit of heat.
Govs Radio. This is the Wort on Govs Radio.
Live.
This is the Word with Mike Pete, SteveGovsRadio.com, wrapping up Blue Point Cask Fest 2021. We're sorry we didn't get all the promised breweries that we asked for, but we ran out of power, ran out of generator power that's happening over there. But we will bring you some of the best local, hyper-local, nano breweries here on Long Island. So we're going to say goodbye for now, but that doesn't mean we're done for the year. We have a brand new lineup coming out in 2022, so check us out. Something that we're going to leave out on. Peter, we'll start with Steve. Steve?
Make sure you have gas in your generator, otherwise you'll lose electricity.
That's right. Peter?
Don't forget to spay and neuter your dogs that aren't supposed to be at the beer fest.
Right. This is the Word with Mike and Pete and Steve, GovsRadio.com, and we out.
Well, that's 2 hours of your life that you'll never get back.
Are you kidding me?
Please hang up and try again.
This has been the Wort on Govs Radio. I hope you're drunk enough.